Here we go, folks. We are live. Welcome to the NBA Trade Deadline Special, brought to you by Stochastic and Odd Shopper, I guess, whatever you want to say. We are here. I am Josh Engelman. Follow me at Josh Engelman on the Twitters. We are breaking down everything all the way up until 3 and then some. We've had a bunch of deals come in for this trade deadline, and I expect to continue to get them to trickle in over the next couple hours. We're going to be here for a while. I'm happy to take questions. We can dig into salaries. We can dig into basically whatever you guys want to do. It's going to be fun. Hit that like button. I'm going to ask a lot. I want to run this one up. I want this to become a big stream. So let's hit that thumbs up if we can. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Sign up if you're on the DFS side. If you're interested in daily fantasy sports, links in the description to sign up at Stochastic. If you're looking for the sports betting side of this one, I've got Odd Shopper up on the screen right now. If you want to take a market-based approach to beating the books, this is what you're looking for. Shop lines across all of the books. I've got them up on the screen right now. Immediate access to whichever book you're looking for. Expected value, expected win rates. Brand new remodel of the site as of today, by the way. So looking pretty sharp. And you get it on the pick'em side if you're not in a legal sports betting state. So, guys, let's do this thing. Excited to be here. Excited to chat it up. We got a lot to talk about for the next couple hours. So, Dennis Smith Jr. was not a part of that trade. So, no, not in it. Dennis Smith Jr. still on the Brooklyn Nets. It's been weird. Like, most of these trades to me are uninteresting. Just like kind of not all that important. I think much of the chatter that has been said so far is like overrated chatter. So it's kind of weird in that regard. Like if we circle back to the beginning of today, you get the Pacers trade, you get Buddy Hield. Let's pull it up here so you guys can see it. You get Buddy Hield to the Sixers for Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, a couple second-round picks. Solid enough pickup for Philly, you know. More seconds than I was sort of expecting, but you take a Korkmaz who's never going to play for you, a Marcus Morris who, in this case, for an actualized Sixers team, isn't going to play much. Get some shooting out there if you need it. You know, some interchangeable parts in that Melton, Oubre, now Hield trio. But mostly an uneventful trade there. Like I'm not a big Buddy Hield guy. He's a sort of a one-trick pony. Great offensively, great three-point shooter. Not exactly bringing a ton to the table. Great filler piece for Philly, but not exactly a big thing. Charlotte trading P.J. Washington to Dallas for Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a first-round pick. Now we're getting it. Perfect time to go live here. So interesting to cut bait immediately on Grant Williams. I think that's probably the first thing to say. You know, Grant Williams obviously just came in now. Now you're attaching a first-round pick to get what? Exactly. Is PJ Washington even better than Grant Williams? I don't know. I can't imagine Grant Williams wants to be in Charlotte very long. I could see, but at least he's getting paid. I'm not a big PJ Washington guy. So I guess we could just start there. I get the idea of him, but we're talking about back-to-back seasons of 55% true shooting, 32% from three this year. He's an all-right rebounder, -1 offensive plus-minus, -1 defensive plus-minus. Why are you sending out Grant Williams and attaching a pick for PJ Washington? I truly don't get it. I'm not confident that he's better than Grant Williams. Not sure what the Mavs are doing here. There's no chance of me giving up a first for PJ Washington. Now, is he going to look better playing on the Mavs than he did on the Hornets? Yeah, obviously. Of course. But I just don't see the appeal here. I really don't. If you're the Mavs, I don't know why you're spending a draft pick for PJ Washington. I really don't. You know, we can pull up contracts here for PJ Washington. Washington making 16.8 this year, drops to 15.5 next year, 14.1 in 25. So, like, the contract itself is good, but like, we're talking about, like, Grant Williams is a better three-point shooter than PJ Washington. I don't know why I can't scroll down any farther. That's kind of annoying. But, I mean, these guys are not all that dissimilar. You know, maybe, I mean, like, neither one of them are any good. Why spend a first-round draft pick on, like, a -1 plus-minus guy? Lightly protected 2027 first. Sure. I mean, that's a great deal for Charlotte, as far as I'm concerned. If you could rehab Grant Williams a little bit, like, you could certainly turn him into a couple seconds in the future. I don't know what Dallas is doing. I really don't like that trade. I really don't like this trade for the Mavs. I don't know why you spend draft capital to do this. Like, these contracts are not all that dissimilar. There's an extra year on Grant Williams, but these guys are both basically the same age, same money. I don't like this. I don't like this. It doesn't make sense. I'm not a fan of this for the Mavs. I like taking a shot on PJ Washington. I just don't know why you're paying a first to trade two very similar looking players. Let's compare them, shall we? Let's look at Grant Williams. And let's look at PJ Washington. This season, you know, Grant obviously does not have, and like, he's certainly not having a great year. I want to be very clear here, but Grant Williams has always been a better three-point shooter. 37% in 2021, 41% in 22, 39.5 last year. Came down a little bit this year, but admittedly, he is not having a great year in Dallas. They're basically very comparable rebounders. You know, neither one of them are great assist dudes. Neither one of them are, like, ultra active in defensive stats. They do lean, like, you know, you want defense out of them. Going to get a couple more blocks out of PJ Washington. The goal, I guess, is going to be to play PJ Washington. Like, if you're not playing him at the 5, then you're losing a little bit of the utility. But I just, you know, like, they've both been dog shit this year. Maybe you blame that, a little bit of that, on the Hornets. I'm just not spending a first-round pick to get a they're both 6'7", 240. They're both 25 years old within 3 months of each other. Why spend the first? Why spend the first? That is what I don't get here. All right, so if we're summing this up, I like that deal a lot more for the Hornets than I do for the Mavs. I would much rather have Grant Williams and a future Mavs first, where you don't even know if Luka Doncic is on that team at that point, than having PJ Washington right now. What are the Mavs making? Like, PJ Washington is not taking the Mavs and making them a finals team. Don't spend that asset. Don't spend that asset. I don't see it. A bit of my timeline certainly seems to be disagreeing with me. And then I see Danger Cart say, Mavs dumb, so dumb. I completely agree. I don't know why you're... Like, if you're swapping those guys, I get it. Why spend the draft capital? What can the Kings do to get better? Trade Domantas Sabonis? I mean that sincerely. I don't get it. Don't spend those picks. Don't spend those picks. Okay, let's get back to some of the deals that have gone through. So we got the Buddy Hield deal. Pistons get House from the Sixers. This is a salary dump move, so they can get below the tax. It's not a big deal here. It's Daniel House. The Olynyk and Agbaji trade. I'm not entirely sure what Toronto is doing here. Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji to the Raptors for Kira Lewis, Otto Porter, and a 2024 first, which is basically going to be like the last pick in the first round. I guess if you want to take a shot on, Agbaji on his technically third team, I think that's fine. Like, you're not... So it's basically, like, if we want to be honest, it's Olynyk who can play and Agbaji who can play and is a flyer for nobody, and a first. Let's see if the Raptors can turn Olynyk into something else. But I don't know. Look, the Jazz know better than anybody what they want to get out of Agbaji. And if they don't see it for the future, then turning that into a new first rounder and kicking the can down the road a little bit, totally fine. Let's see. What else is next? You get the Daniel Gafford trade for Holmes and picks, which I don't know if they have confirmed that they have received those picks yet, but yes. Is Daniel Gafford like a talent upgrade over Dwight Powell or Rashawn Holmes? Sure. But why get Gafford if you're going to do the PJ Washington deal? I don't know. Like, you've already got Maxey, who's a key to your 5-man lineup. Then it's Gafford, it's Lively. Now you have PJ Washington. Like, those are the 4 dudes. I don't hate that deal. You're not giving anything up, but like, we got to remember that it's Daniel Gafford, and who gives a shit about Daniel Gafford? Yeah, S&P, that makes sense for me. Like, I don't mind that as a shot for Toronto, too, to take a run at Agbaji. OKC picked up Gordon Hayward. That should be a pretty good talking point here. Hayward to the Thunder for Bertans, Trey Mann, Misic, some other nonsense. I like Hayward as a vet. Certainly not a guy that's going to come in there and ruin a locker room or anything like that. He's going to come in, be a good connector, works at multiple positions, certainly an option to close in lineups over Josh Giddey. And then the real big part of picking up Gordon Hayward is going to be, I think he comes back to OKC next year at like a reasonable number so that they can trade him later and use him as salary ballast. By getting him now, it makes it easier to trade him in the future. So I like that for Gordon Hayward. He's just got to be able to be on the floor. Bogey, that may be true, but PJ Washington is also shit. So there's that. All right. Anything new popping up? Yeah, I don't understand what the Mavs are doing. It's their only available first-round pick to trade. It's so stupid. Royce O'Neale to Phoenix for 3 second-round picks? Okay. I mean, that's a great trade for Phoenix. I assume that Nas Little is going to be one of the people that are going to Brooklyn in this deal. That pick. Okay, so the Charlotte pick that they're getting from Dallas is top 2 protected, and they're also sending 2 second rounders to the Mavs. So that helps a little bit. Helps a little bit to get those 2 seconds back. Top 2 protected is pretty scary. Luka Doncic does not have to be on that team in 2027. So, yikes. Yikes. Almost made. This does not give them a legit 4 and a legit 5. That's not a true statement at all. If PJ Washington were a legit 4, the Hornets would look a lot better. And if Daniel Gafford were a legit 5, the Washington Wizards might look a little bit better. These guys are just like dudes. They're at best like the 7th or 8th best guys you could have on the floor. Maybe. I hate this Dallas move more and more, but at least they got 2 seconds. Royce O'Neale to the Suns is wild. I did not think that it was possible for the Suns to acquire someone that can actually play basketball. All of their stuff is garbage. All their seconds were like mostly garbage in my memory. And yet here we are looking at this thinking, okay, like that's a real rotation piece now for Phoenix. Another guy that can slot in and do what they want to do. But my expectation is that's probably Nas Little going out. What does Royce O'Neale make? Can't be too many Royces going right now. Yeah, I don't know what the Mavs are doing. Thumbs down, Mavs. And Spot Track is getting crushed with people trying to pull up their shit check contract. So $9.5 million expiring for Royce O'Neale right now. Solid enough deal. I don't have much to say on Royce O'Neale other than just they needed wing type dudes. So I get what they're doing. These are going to be the deals that we get today, aren't they? Just weird, garbagey stuff. Should we talk about the big Knicks stuff, I guess? So, Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks to the Knicks. Quentin Grimes, Fournier, Flynn, Ryan Arcidiacono, and 2 seconds to the Pistons. It's a good talent pickup. Like, swap out Burks and Grimes, pretty comparable. And then, Bojan, obviously a bit of an upgrade to whatever you want to say. It's not like Fournier, Malachi Flynn, or Ryan Arcidiacono were playing. They're certainly like a really strong rotation. Like they're a very talented regular season team. They should beat the shit out of people for the rest of the year. Does it matter? Like, look, they are great. They've got a bunch of assets that they can make moves in the offseason if they want to. I don't want to poo-poo the Knicks, but I tweeted it already, and I'm going to say it again here. In just about every series that they could have in the first round of the NBA playoffs, they're not going to have the best player on the floor. And that matters to me quite a bit in the playoffs when you start to consolidate. So whether that's Boston, that doesn't look great. Take your pick on if you want Donovan Mitchell or Jalen Brunson. I could go either way there. Obviously, Milwaukee is a big fat no. Philly is a big fat no as long as Joel Embiid is on the floor. And I'm willing to have a Tyrese Maxey conversation, but obviously Embiid. Certainly, to me, Tyrese Halliburton is ahead of Jalen Brunson, but I can get where people would want to go there. And then I am not the biggest Jimmy Butler fan in the world, but when you get to the playoffs, I am not going to put Jalen Brunson ahead of Jimmy Butler after what we've seen for the past couple years. I think this is all more about what the Knicks look like next year than what it is this year. But they have put themselves in a great spot. I wouldn't change anything that they've done. I don't disagree with anything that they have done. But I don't think it's just good business, but it's mostly uninteresting business for me. So S&P, here's the problem with what you just said. I'm putting it up on the screen. To me, this makes it a lot easier to not play and close with Randall in the playoffs if the shot isn't falling. That's a bug, not a feature. And I know you'll agree with me there. Like, yes, that's true. However, like, if you're paying Julius Randle money and he can't close for you in the playoffs, you have a much bigger issue. That would be the problem. Steven Leibowitz, what's Bogey's EPM on defense? Probably like negative $1 million. Not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. Yeah, Randall getting out of there in the offseason is like the sneaky thing that they absolutely have to do to take any sort of step forward. Trying to read through chat, see if I'm missing anything from you guys, because we've got a lot of stuff coming in fast and furious. We've got 500 people in here right now. If you're here, hit that like button. We are going to be live for at least another 90 minutes as this sort of stuff keeps trickling in. So if I miss a question or if you have a question, please don't be afraid to just drop it back in there. I'm going to try and hit on as much as I can, but it is a lot going on, and I'm trying to stay as active as I can. Where is it? Matt Weinert said, Thunder have 13 on the roster, may not be done. Drummond is my guess. Now, I think it's sort of the opposite here. I think the Thunder are bringing themselves below the tax line, and I think that they can fill out with staggered minimums for the rest of the year. I'm not... Now, I don't want to say that they're not making another move, because they certainly could be doing that, but I don't think they're looking to add a 14th at a real salary. Not right now, at least. That's a great way to describe it, S&P. Look, Randall's an 82 game guy, not a 16 game guy. That's a big thing that people need to understand. There is a difference between being really good in the regular season and really good in the playoffs. It's why Domantas Sabonis is a great regular season player and a guy that I would run away from as fast as possible in the playoffs. Craig, it really doesn't affect anything for me on a DFS side. All these guys have salaries, so you don't know what the effect is because you don't know what the salary is going to be. So it's just the same sort of process as every other day. It's more of a problem for like season-long stuff, but with daily fantasy salary changes, none of this stuff matters. So, do we have anything else we need to be touching on here? We had that Bojan trade. I don't think I'm missing anything else for the rest of these guys. Like Big Body Roddy heading out is mostly useless. Why is Memphis shipping out all of their centers? Because none of them are any good. Or they make too much money. One of the two. We got to remember that Bojan Bogdanovic might not be any good, guys. I don't want to be too overreactive here, but yeah, is he shooting around 40% from three right now? Yes. Does he do anything else? No. Below average assist rate, no rebounds whatsoever, a complete and utter dumpster fire defensively. Going to be 35 in a couple months. Worst offensive season in 3 years. Like, we got to remember that he's now, look, playing for the Pistons, not ideal, but we got to remember that he is not exactly interesting. Why does this keep locking my comments? I don't know. So I'm not the biggest believer in anything Bojan is going to bring other than just like open catch and shoot threes. Zach Jameson, that list is very small. Hold on, guys. DSJ is absolutely playing tonight and is probably playing 30 minutes. So I don't know what kind of DFS conversation we're having right now, but Dennis Smith Jr., at least as of right now, will probably be one of the most owned players on today's slate. Let's see. What else we have? How do I think the Pistons have done? I don't know. I think we'll reevaluate. I don't even know who's officially on the Pistons any longer. I mean, I hated everything they did yesterday. I hate the Simone Fontecchio acquisition for sure. What else did we have? Monty Morris. I guess I understand why they did that deal, but you know, not exciting. What did they do today now? It's hard to track. Like, the Pistons have been involved in a lot of stuff right now. What else did we have? All right, getting Grimes, I like, and those seconds is fine. I thought they could have gotten more for Burks and Bojan than what they did, but Grimes in 2 seconds is fine. And then what else did they do? Okay, so it was the other two. Yeah, like, I'm not thrilled with what the Pistons have been doing. Toronto and Brooklyn, Dinwiddie for Schroeder and Thad Young. Like, who gives a shit about that one at all? Most of these trades have been pretty useless to me. That's where I land. What did I think of the Olynyk trade? I guess I like it for both teams to a degree. I would have assumed Olynyk and Agbaji could pull a little bit more than a very late first, but that's not a bad return. I don't know what Utah's long-term plan is. Yeah, S&P, I'm on the opposite side of that Fontecchio deal. I was not a fan at all. Quick reminder to hit the like button, and then quick reminder, I'm going to pull this up on the screen. For those of you that are watching that are not familiar with me or the site or anything like that, Odd Shopper on the screen right now. If you're in the sports betting space, if you want to bet a little bit more, this is the tool you're looking for. We take a market-based approach to beating the books. We're not trying to just be some gimmick. We're bringing the data along with it. We're giving you expected value, expected win rates. We're recommending bet sizes for you. You could immediately and quickly just click into whichever sports book you're looking for. You can shop around and make sure you're getting the best line. You could also do the same on the pick'em side if you're not in a legal state. There should be links in the description of this video to sign up at Odd Shopper. But if you are in the sports bet, like if you like to bet, Odd Shopper is going to be hooking you up with all sorts of plays across multiple sports throughout the day. Anytime there's value available, like right now, under 6.5 assists for Donovan Mitchell. You can get that at minus 120 on PointsBet. We have the true odds at minus 137. So there's a bit of value here. If you have a $1,000 bankroll, you should drop $30 on that bad boy. Links in the description for this one. Make sure you're signing up at Odd Shopper. When did Dallas get Gafford? About an hour ago. Any big name player I'm expecting to be moved or think should be moved? Depends what your definition of big is. Some of these teams are in tricky spots because I think Cleveland should trade Donovan Mitchell right now, but I don't think they're going to do that. If they think they can keep him, then I think that they should trade Darius Garland right now. But I don't think they're going to do that. That's sort of where I stand for some of this stuff. Is there anybody else that I would want to see moved? Let me think about it here. I mean, like, Minnesota is going to move somebody eventually. I wouldn't be surprised if Karl Anthony Towns is on a different team next year. Draymond Green probable for today. That helps. Like, if I'm the Pelicans, I'm going out of my way to try to trade CJ McCollum. Always. There's not too much else out there I see as, like, essential. Like, if I'm San Antonio, I'm calling up Cleveland and trying to figure out what I can do to get Darius Garland. No news on DeJounte Murray just yet. Where does Kyle Lowry land? I think he ends up in Philly. That's my assumption. I think we end up seeing him get to Philadelphia. They should trade Green and go all in on Kuminga. Green is not the guy you trade if you want to go all in on Kuminga. That would be probably Wiggins as the guy that you would want to get out of there. We got to remember that Draymond is really good. He might be a crazy asshole, but he's really good. What could OKC get for Giddey? Probably not all that much. That scandal certainly didn't help earlier this year. But a little bit of something. Probably first round value. Yeah, I very much disagree with PJ Washington to Dallas is a huge move for their starting lineup. When they're fully healthy, I don't even think he should start. That's just me, though. Yeah. Boss, I don't agree. I don't think Dallas won. I think Dallas stayed the same and didn't help their future. That would be my description here. What could the Kings realistically get for Sabonis? I mean, they would never trade him. So that's sort of the problem. It's sort of a fool's errand to try to talk about that one, even though that is what I would do. But, you know, you call up... well, who would be a good team? So many teams just have centers. Like, the Bulls would give anything to have Sabonis and just, like, make their floor be a league average team during the regular season. All right, what else we got here? What else is coming in? We're up to 618 people. This is fun, baby. Let's talk. We need more trades. We need to start being able to analyze some of the contract issues and all of that other good stuff, because I don't have a lot to talk about when it's like, oh, Royce O'Neale and David Roddy to the Suns. Like, okay. Yo, PJ Tucker is not better than Maxi Kleber. That I feel very confident in saying. Maxi Kleber is a very big key to them being able to go small. Yeah. Gafford in Washington is an upgrade over Kleber and Powell. I don't know why we're including Powell in that conversation. Like, if all we're talking about is playing 14 minutes of the game, then Daniel Gafford and Dwight Powell are meaningless to each other. Pat Bev just announced himself to the Bucks, which I can't imagine that's real. It doesn't seem like it could be real. Matthew, I agree. Anyone who says Maxi Kleber isn't important to the Mavs doesn't watch the Mavs. That I agree. Yes, Maxi and PJ Washington can play alongside of each other. Yeah, the Sixers are not trading Pat Bev to anybody. No, well, certainly not certainly not to the Bucks. I'm going to assume that one is a fake tweet. Look, we got to remember, guys, just because you add PJ Washington, they didn't add him for nothing. They traded a future top 2 protected first-round pick. I would never do that for PJ Washington. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Yeah, it's Marvin Bagley season in Washington, that's for sure. It's a shame they don't play today. Because that would have been nuts. That pick will most likely not be a good pick until Luka Doncic doesn't want to play on that team in 2 years. Look, we think we know what's going to happen 2 years into the future in the NBA. Just go back 3 years and look at the standings and think about the things that we projected at that point. Travis, I've been live for 36 minutes. I guess I should retweet my previous tweet. Where's it hiding? There we go. There we go. Tweet has been retweeted. Who should get traded from the Bulls today? Fuck everybody. Caruso, DeRozan, Vooch, anything that you can trade, you should trade. You can hang on to Kobe White if you want, but every single other person should be gone. The Bulls are dumb. One of the worst run franchises that exists. It's bad. It's real bad. The 76ers are trading Patrick Beverly to the Bucks. Holy shit, that's real. For who? What does Beverly make? I spelled it wrong. What the hell does Pat Bev make? 3.2 million. So it could be anybody. Could be anybody. There's no chance this is Malik Beasley, right? They're not trying to get another shooter. Everybody's saying Payne. Is it actually Payne? It is campaign. Why? It's got to be a money thing. Campaign is 2.9 million, and then Bev was like 3.1. Did they need to really just free up like 300,000 to cut the tax? Is that what's happening here? Has to be, right? I feel like the Sixers needed to free up like 300 grand. You just don't normally see like the Bucks and Sixers coordinating a trade like this. So yeah, now I feel a little bit better about Kyle Lowry to Philly. That's I didn't expect. I mean, like we're talking about a real rotation piece here from Philly, and it's not like I don't what is the The only thing that makes sense is if the Sixers really needed that little bit of salary. That's really the only way that, and like, with everything that they've done so far, I don't have that number in front of me, but that's really the only way that any part of this deal makes sense. You have campaign at $2.89 million. And then you have Pat Bev at 3.19. Call it 3.2. I think that they might have just needed that salary. To get the second round pick back, that's fine, but you're not having Patrick Beverly for campaign discussions unless you need that, unless you're trying to get under a tax line, is my guess. We'll see if anybody drops that sort of news shortly. Yeah, you don't campaign. You don't lose Joel Embiid and think we need to get campaign in here for a little bit more offense. Campaign is awful. You don't play him for anything ever at all because he's campaign. That's a key thing we want to remember here. I like that pickup for the Bucks. I'd rather have Pat Bev than campaign for sure. Campaign shooting a crisp 51% at the rim this season. Good for 5th percentile. Yes, 5th percentile. I don't know. I'm calling it about the money until it's not. Oh, Brooklyn's waiving Harry Giles. That's a shame. Yeah, Kelly O is on, I believe, an expiring, or at least has like a very minimal partial guarantee next year. Nope, expiring. $12.2 million expiring. If the Bucks wanted guard defense, they could have just continued to hold on to Javon Carter. Let's see. What else we got coming in from chat? To the 684 of you that are here, thank you for being here. We're coming up on 45 minutes, and we have so much time left to go. And we haven't even gotten anything like really fun to talk about. Nobody gives a shit about Pat Bev or campaign or, what was it, David Roddy and Royce O'Neale to the Suns. Nah. We need something big. Where's the Murray trade? Where's the D'Angelo Russell trade at? Where are these trades that we're looking for? What's my favorite move so far? I mean, I really like the Hornets getting that Dallas first. That might be the thing I like the most. I really like Charlotte acquiring that first. I think getting David Roddy and Royce O'Neale is like solid for the Suns, but it's kind of lame. J Moss, I thought the house trade did get the Sixers enough money, but too many moving parts for me to have that on this show right now. It just seems weird to go get campaign is all. I don't know. Unless Pat Bev is like bitching constantly. I could see him being really, irritating to have around. There's an interesting one. Alec Burks has been the best player traded today. Is that true? Is it Burks or is it Gordon Hayward? I think it's probably Gordon Hayward. Does Gordon Hayward get bought out in OKC? I would be no. He's there to play. Swaggy Pete, there's not much to say about the Suns. They got David Roddy and Royce O'Neale. Those are two, eighth guys potentially. Just add a little depth if you can. Woohoo! They are releasing Killian Hayes. Woof. Yo, that sucks. Well, SMP. That's pour one out for Killian Hayes. Pour one out for Kevin O'Connor of the Ringer, man. Yikes. That is something special. Man, what a whiff pick. That Piston, dude. There it is from Kevin O'Connor, too. That's funny shit. Look, we got to be very clear here, man. The Pistons are a terrible, terrible team. Their front office is trash. Their team is trash. Lakers apparently standing pat at the deadline. I like that for the Lakers. Don't give up any future picks. You have a lot more flexibility in the offseason this year if you need it. By the way, someone should pick up Killian Hayes, no matter how bad I think they are. Or no matter how bad I think he is. Like, do you not bring him to, like, San Antonio or where would be another good spot that, like, needs a guard? I mean, I'd give him a shot in Chicago for sure. Getting pretty bleak after that. I'd like to see Hayes in San Antonio. Get a little bit of real coaching. I don't like cutting bait on young guys that much, but he has been extra special terrible. The Shanghai Sharks need a point guard. Marbury not there anymore? I'm sure he'll just go to Oklahoma City. They love dudes that can't, or at least they used to love dudes that can't shoot. Yeah, K-Diz. Normally I would agree that a 7-win team who traded all their vets giving up on a 22-year-old number 7 pick is bizarre. On the surface, that statement really does make sense. However, it is important to note that to know when you should cut bait on someone. And he's a restricted free agent this year. They were never going to pay him, and no one was going to trade for him. So it's not like they're just getting rid of him. They were never going to keep him anyway. We got to remember, his rookie year, he was 19, 2020, 2021 season. So he just never was going to get anything. Like that, he has no value. Mark, no single name that you hear today will play. Any player that's in a trade today will not play today, and probably everybody that's in a trade today will not play tomorrow either. That is the most likely scenario, at least. Killian Hayes just get on out of here, bruh. Not needed. Don't need it. Just utter garbage. Didn't see that one coming. Could be a good AJ Green day for the Bucks, by the way. No, Hayes was released. It's on the screen, JR. What the hell does stand pat mean? It means not make a trade. I'm going to get back to it here for Jeremiah Johnson. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Just got here, Josh. You like what the Mavs have done so far? Seems like they upgraded their lineup quite a bit. I do not like what the Mavs have done so far. I don't like giving up a 2027 first for PJ Washington. I don't love that deal. So I'm less excited. The Gafford pickup is fine, but like these are just backup dudes. So I don't think that they've done anything that really moves the needle. And I think they gave up the best thing that is involved in any of their deals. It does help that they got 2 seconds back. So I don't want that first to like seem too ugly, because that is just like they're moving resources around a little bit, but they didn't. If you're going to do that, like if they sat on that pick, if they were able to wait until the draft, then they could have traded 3 firsts. Now they can't trade any. I don't like it. Drew, that's a really good point. Get Killian Hayes to Memphis for the rest of the season. Oh, there are a bunch of buyout candidates coming, that's for sure. Do I think Golden State trades Clay or Wiggins? I think they can trade Wiggins, although I don't think they want to. I don't think there's any way to... I don't think they would trade Clay. They should trade Clay. 1,000,000% they should trade Clay. But I don't think they will. What else do we have going on here? So, Christian, I'm not trying to point you out here, but I see so much of stuff like this, and I just don't get it. Mavs needed more offense outside of Luka and Kyrie. PJ will bring that for sure. When has he ever done that? 54% true shooting this year. That's 27th percentile. 54% true shooting last year. That's 27th percentile. He's a negative 1.3 offensive EPM guy for the past 2 seasons. 32.5% from 3 this year. 34.5% from 3 last year. What exactly is PJ Washington good at? He's 25, by the way. This is his 5th season in the NBA. I think we've seen it. Why are you giving up a first-round pick for this guy? Based on salary right now, he's not even worth $4 million this year. I just don't get it. Like, I don't know what people see that makes them think that this is a guy that's good offensively. Because he's not. There's no evidence to the contrary here. You want to play him at the 5 again so that he can get more blocks and stretch the floor and be a 38% three-point shooter like he was when he was 22? Yeah, maybe. That doesn't exist right now. I just don't see it. What should the Mavs have done? Nothing? Wait? That's what I would have done. I know they don't have a lot of time, but like, if you wait until the draft, I believe, this is off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. If you wait till the draft, you have 3 first-round picks that you can aggregate together and trade. You can make a real deal at that point in time. These are just half measures, and now they can't do that kind of stuff in the future. So I don't like making moves just to make moves. And that feels like they made moves to just make moves. Yes, I do think that Liverpool can win the trophy. Christian, you are 100% incorrect. He is not a better shooter than Grant Williams, and there is no evidence to that fact. None whatsoever. There is no evidence that PJ Washington is a better three-point shooter than Grant Williams. Grant Williams this year, 37.5%, 39 last year, 41 the year before that. You want to say that PJ Washington might take some more contested threes or whatever, that's fine. There's no evidence that PJ Washington is a better shooter than Grant Williams. Neither one of them are good. That's really the breakdown here. Neither one of them are any good. It seems. If PJ Washington were this good, he either goes for a better return or stays on. Why wouldn't the Hornets want him? He's 25 years old and good. Isn't that the guy you would want to keep around like LaMelo Ball and some of your other young talent and Brandon Miller? No? Think about what we're saying here. If PJ Washington is this good, why wouldn't he stay with a young Hornets team? Why would you get rid of that then? Ask yourself that. Grant Williams can't get his own shot. Is 20% usage and 54% true shooting getting your own shot? If PJ Washington can get his own shot, I hope he skips it or passes on that ability, because him getting his own shot isn't a good shot. He went for a first, but 2 seconds are coming back on the opposite side of that. We have never seen PJ Washington be... We've barely ever seen him be average. Guys, he's shooting 32% from three this year. Gotta let you know, that's pretty shitty. By the way, 71% from the line. That's 22nd percentile. There's not exactly like... He doesn't even shoot free throws well to think maybe this three-point rate will get better. What are you getting him for? PJ playing with Luka will make him better. I think we probably would have said the same thing for Grant Williams. PJ can get his own missed shot. That's pretty true. That's pretty true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. Thumbs down for the Mavs. That's where I stand. Anything new popping up here? Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Josh Engelman. If you're here and you've never seen me before, that is where you will find me. Memphis is acquiring Yuta Watanabe. Keita Bates-Diop, Jordan Goodwin, and Metu all heading out. I mean, we're just shuffling deck chairs on the Suns. Boss, I'm not stuck on anything. There's nothing else to talk about. It's not like we're getting new deals. I'd like to talk about something else, trust me. But we don't appear to be getting any of that information. Yeah, I like Metu as well. Oh, man. Very low. We're at a lull right now. We're at the top of the hour. We've been live for an hour. It's 2 p.m. Eastern time right now. And we have 1 hour to go. Do we get anything big here? What's the guess, folks? Are we going to have some sort of big deal in the next hour? I hope so. Who's a team that needs to make a big move today? Okay, that's a good question. I'm going to put that up on the screen quickly. Jeremiah, who's a team that needs to make a big move? I want Oklahoma City to do it because I think they are real right now, and they shouldn't wait at all and have the ability to do it. If I'm the Pelicans, I'm trying to figure out how to make the team better, or make it younger, or make the timeline line up a little bit more. I don't know what that would entail. But if I'm New Orleans, I'm trying to get creative and get rid of CJ McCollum, no matter how good he's playing this year. I just want to reorient that team. Who would OKC get? I mean, Mikal Bridges is the guy that I want to end up there. But who would be a good example? Let's see. They're also, so like, they're live to have a ton of cap room in the offseason. I don't know what that really does for them other than acquiring people. I mean, I've been beating the drum that I want them to get Caruso for a month now. No, not DeRozan. I mean, I would love to see Orlando do something. You know, if they could go out and try and acquire a Darius Garland type. He's just a guy that I see leaving soon. Yeah, like if OKC could get Markkanen, that would be great. Utah's not letting him go for anything less than like 3 picks, 3 swaps. So that's probably too much. What do I think the Mavs front court rotation looks like now? Not good. So we've got Maxey, Lively, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford. Am I missing anybody in that group of 4s and 5s? I'm not, right? No, I'm not. Maxey, Lively, Gafford, PJ Washington. I think those 4 guys are going to play almost all of the 96 minutes that exist at the 4 and the 5. Would I rather OKC get Caruso or Brogdon? Caruso by a mile. By a mile. What should the Grizz do in the offseason? Status quo? Come back next year with Marcus Smart, John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, and just like be a real team again? There's not much they can do. They're going to need to pick up a center. You know, someone in that like Andre Drummond realm. Somebody that can play like 20 minutes a night. But no, Memphis just has to be healthy. That's it. That's all they can do. What about the Heat? I don't know what they can do. They don't really, like, for the Heat to do something, Tyler Hero's got to be the one heading out. And I don't know what you get for that. Like, they kind of just got hung out to dry by not being able to get Dame or Drew. So, Matthew, that's a good thing that I'd like to touch on. Like, the Mavs they do have the ability to, like, mix and match a little bit more at the 4 and the 5, but I think we're just mixing and matching the same kind of guys. Like, stylistically, it helps. But we got to stop acting like Daniel Gafford matters. Bulls should trade DeRozan and Drummond for Triple J. Yeah, they would need to add 5 first-round picks to that. Opinion on the Tillman trade? Indifference. Solid enough pickup. I'm a fan defensively. He has been probably the worst offensive player in basketball this year. If he can recover that a little bit, it will help. But just a good way to bolster the bench. Is Lively better than Gafford? Probably pretty comparable right now. I mean, I think you give it to Gafford since he's been in the league for a minute, but all signs point to Lively looking good. I don't think that the Mavs bringing in Gafford hampers Lively's development at all. You could very easily play both of those guys 24 minutes a night. That's plenty development. Man, 738 people. This is fun. I really enjoy this. I wish we could have the trade deadline every day. How much better would life be? If we could just do this and never stop doing this, it would be the best. Hornets are picking up 2 seconds in that Gordon Hayward deal per Zach Lowe. The Thunder have like 47 seconds over the next couple of years, so that shouldn't be that bad. We need a March Madness stream. What else we got going on in here? Don't forget to hit that like button. Let's see. What are we up to? I think I have this open that I could find out. No, I don't. Whatever. We'll figure it out later. Or chat. Let me know how many likes there are. Ew. Maggots. Magnets. That's a good one, Derek. Who's going to... what about my Clippers? Who's the replacement for Mook, Roko, Batum out there? Nobody. Let's see. Minnesota isn't getting the 1 seed. Who is? Is that OKC? The Denver? 3 teams. Wow. Oklahoma City, Minnesota, and Denver are all 35-16. The Clippers are 34-16. That's a very interesting dynamic for home court down the stretch. That'll be fun. Where is Donovan Mitchell next year? That is a great question. I think most people would assume the answer is New York. If you're the Cavs, like the Cavs must be... The Cavs are in probably the weirdest position in the entire league. Because what they have isn't going to work, and someone needs to leave. But I think they're going to be paralyzed by being decent. 33-16, number 2 seed right now. You don't trade guys like that right now, him or Garland. But they absolutely have to do that to me. Like, they are staring down the barrel. Like, you don't want to have to do it because you're being forced. You need to do it because you want to get out in front of it. They're going to need to get out in front of it in some way. I dropped this into our premium Discord recently, but just to show you guys. So if you just want to look at Garland and Mitchell and the relationship of those guys, you've got Mitchell on, Garland off. They're plus 11.5. Garland on, Mitchell off, -5. When they're both on, they're only plus 8. They have been significantly better with just Mitchell on, and even when they're both out there. Now, I don't want to poo-poo them being plus 8 in 436 minutes. That's good. But if you can turn Darius Garland into pieces that better fit this team, a wing defender that can shoot threes, perhaps, I'm just going to say like an OG Anunoby type, to me, that's a better allocation of resources. Would you move Garland for Bridges if the Nets would do it? I would snap do it. Cleveland doesn't. I don't think Cleveland would be able to pull that off. But yes, I would snap do that. RBL, here's a good one. Why doesn't Denver ever make a move at the deadline? They don't have the ability to. Like, the only thing that they can do is try to upgrade their playoff rotation. That would be their goal. But from a contracts perspective, you're not trading the $47 million of Jokic, the 33 of Murray, the 33 of Porter, the 22 of AG, and only 15 for KCP. After that, you don't really have the salaries to be able to make it work. Like, you have to really cobble together, okay, you want to do Zeke Naji plus another minimum guy or two and get like an $8 million player to be the 7th best dude on the team. They just don't, right now their salary structure is kind of set. If they have their starting 5, they're just going to hope that that can beat everybody. Let's see. Yeah, I'm very, very curious to see what the Cavs end up doing in the near future because something is going to change. Yeah, that's a Bellman, that's a good point. They did go out and get Aaron Gordon when they needed to. It's just a really hard team to upgrade. Is Kuzma going anywhere? I don't know. He should. Like, I would want to if I were him. Daniel House to the Nuggets would be really interesting for to try to add a bench play. You would think he'd want to go there. The problem about Bruce Brown for the Nuggets was that they literally couldn't re-sign him for a competitive offer. They didn't have the bird rights that were necessary to be able to offer him a contract that other teams could offer him. So they were kind of just stuck on. They would have loved to have him back. They probably would have paid to do it if they could have. They just couldn't. Look, I'm going to say something and nobody's going to like this, but it's kind of based on Chris here. Cavs 15-1 stretch, currently the 2 seed, finally have some shooting. Feels like all decisions and opinions need to be made after this year to see how it all plays out. Here's how it all plays out. They can't win. And we just need to be very honest about this. They are not a team that has the ability, to me, to win an NBA title as presently constituted. So if you're going to operate a team, for me, as much as that may be a feel-good story and you don't want to break that kind of stuff up, you will only be penalized by not being... you want to be proactive, not reactive. And sometimes you just have to have an honest conversation about what your outlook is. And this is a team that does not have that outlook as currently set up. Sorry, Bellman. Sorry. And that is not to say that they are not a great team. That is not to say that they are not set up very easily to beat the shit out of most teams that show up against them in the regular season. They don't have it in the playoffs. They just don't. They don't have that rotation. They don't have that ironed out 7.5, 8 dudes. And with Evan Mobley playing like this, they're not ready for it yet. You aren't winning with Donovan Mitchell plus pick whoever you want as your second best player. You have to be aware of that. Look, when push comes to shove, you have to be very, very, very honest about the way you're going to evaluate teams. And getting to the tippy top, if you don't have one of the 5 best players in the league, it's hard. You don't see it all that frequently. And I don't think that I don't want to say anything other than the Cavs are a great team. Very clearly, a top 4 hosting a playoff series team for a while if they want to hold this together. They're also a team that, to me, is incapable of winning without Evan Mobley taking a massive offensive leap forward and to reconstitute the team. We see this every year. We know what it takes when you get to the playoffs. Only so many teams can win. And you are never picking Cleveland in a series against Boston. You are never picking Cleveland in a series against the Milwaukee Bucks right now. Those things are just simply not happening. They're not a better team than the New York Knicks at this moment right now. I don't think that's a controversial take. If Joel Embiid is healthy, you're taking Philly over Cleveland in any sort of playoff series. And if Miami is fully healthy, do I think Cleveland's better? Yeah, but I don't know what sort of things Jimmy Butler conjures up in the playoffs, but I don't really like telling him he's not going to do it. Josh, you would be staggering underdogs. We got to remember, like, when you could start playing Giannis 40 minutes a night and Dame starts playing 40 minutes a night and you start consolidating this rotation, you don't have to worry too much about if Andre Jackson and Marshawn Beauchamp are going to play, because they're not going to be on the floor. And, you know, Giannis is very clearly the best player in that series. It's not close. You can flip a coin for me on Dame and Mitchell, but that is not helpful if you want to say it any other way. I don't say these things to be controversial or anything, but we have to have realistic conversations about what it takes to get to the NBA Finals. You don't do it with teams that are built like Cleveland in this particular season. That's not to undermine their future. If they could re-sign Donovan Mitchell and lock him down, like, there's a future here where you can acquire enough assets to make it look better and redo the team. It's just not what that team is right now. It's just not. This happens every year where, like, we watch the NBA from October to February and forget what you need in May and June. It happens every year. But they need Evan Mobley to be a plus offensive player, and he is a minus as of right now. Minus 0.8 so far this season. True shooting is creeping up, but it should. He's 7 feet tall. They need him to get involved. He's shooting 35% from the mid-range. That right there is the anchor to the Cleveland Cavaliers. If they can't get Evan Mobley to be like an average mid-range shooter, not to mention knocking down the threes, it's a problem. It's a problem. He takes 0.7 threes per 75 possessions. If he can't shoot and Jared Allen can't shoot, that's a problem. It just is. And, like, to be clear, obviously, like, in one individual series, a lot of these teams can beat the other one. We're talking like 60-40, 65-35. To run it through all three series, that's where it starts to become a problem. Mobley cannot shoot Arcathelza. It's fully not true. It's fully not true. I just had it on the screen. I can put it back up here right now. There is no evidence on this screen right now that tells you that Evan Mobley can shoot. It's the exact opposite. He shoots 35% from the mid-range and he doesn't shoot threes. That's just an incorrect statement. We don't have to say things that are wrong. This stuff exists. We can look at it. We can look at it. He takes less than 1 3 every 75 possessions he's on the floor. And when he shoots from the mid-range, he shoots 35%. Derek K, you're not looking at the right information, man. You can throw that 41% right in the garbage. It's the eye test. It's the eye test. I like that. I like that. See, here's the problem here, Josh Baker. You say us as if I give a shit about Cleveland. I don't care about any of these teams. All I can give is the analysis. I may be wearing Knicks gear. I thought it was funny for today. I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm not an anybody fan. I don't cheer for any of these teams. This is just an evaluation. Just an evaluation. I like the future for the Cavs, but they're just not at the tippy top of the spear right now. It's not to say they couldn't be. By the way, 22-1 to make the NBA title, or to win the NBA title. That's behind OKC, noted large market. Here's how I look at it. We got it up on the screen right now. Celtics, Nuggets, Clippers, Bucks, Suns. That's probably the only 5 teams that I think can realistically win the NBA title this year. Celtics, Nuggets, Clippers, Bucks, Suns. I wouldn't take anybody else unless more trades happen in the next 40 minutes. I wouldn't take anybody there. Detroit Tigers, you are not about to be an elite team. You're not even close. You might not make the playoffs for 3 years. I can't include the Sixers because of Embiid. He's not going to be healthy even when he gets to the playoffs. Cavs literally have the 8th best odds. Yeah, you might read that as a good thing, but I don't. Look, I don't see it with the Suns either, but I'm not going to bet against Devin Booker and Kevin Durant playing 46 minutes a night through the playoffs. This is the thing we got to remember. All the shitty dudes at the end of the bench go away, and you start playing Kevin Durant every minute that he can. Devin Booker plays every minute that he can. When you start consolidating these teams and you play Booker for 46 and Durant for 46, you're also then playing Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley for 46. It's not the same. The consolidation of rotations is what breaks people's brains. You got to have it at the top end, or you don't have it at all. Yeah, Paul, to me, Wolves, no chance. Anthony Edwards isn't ready to be that guy, and the best player on the Wolves isn't going to get it done. Are they a great... Minnesota is Western Conference Cleveland. Brandon, I did add the Clippers. Minnesota is Western Conference Cleveland. Yeah, I feel like I should include Miami just because it's insane. And again, this isn't an indictment on Anthony Edwards. Do I think he can be that guy? Yeah. You don't see anybody in the NBA become that guy before they've done any of it. Everybody takes their lumps. Everybody goes through a couple series where you got to figure shit out. And they're early. Anthony Edwards is just early to that thing. Am I saying that he couldn't be that guy in the future? Hell no. I'm a fan. I know S&P isn't. He's smashing. He's 59% true shooting at 30% usage. He's having an exceptional season. We've never seen it on a stage where a team gets every single day to take him out of his game. And that's huge. It's one thing to cook in the regular season. He's 2-3 years early. He needs lots of playoff experience. We see this over and over and over again every single year of the playoffs. That's what you're looking for. I love the future for Minnesota for Ant. Fantastic. But I'm not borrowing his skill from the future to make them look better today. That's not how this works. I don't think OKC could do it without a move. But OKC is a team that if they made a deal, they could move into that spot. When you have a first-team All-NBA player like Shea, things change up a little bit. We're still just chilling, waiting on news. Nothing interesting. Here's what we're going to do for 1 second. I'm going to hit the head. I will be right back. Sign up at Stochastic or OddsShopper. Links below, but I want to gear up for the final 35 minutes. Get your arguments in order. Haha, we're back. We're back. Josh Gillum, the best shooter on OKC is Isaiah Joe. We back. We back. We back. We back. This is fun. I like shitting all over the Cavs and Wolves and seeing people get mad about it. Now, the bathroom is literally next to me. Like, if the walls weren't here, I might be able to hit it from my chair. But I don't want to... I also didn't want to do anything other than just be here talking about everything that we could talk about. That's the key takeaway. How are we just not getting any more news? Seriously. There's just nothing. It's like the deadline passed and nobody told us. It's kind of annoying. All right, anybody sports betting? Let's pull up OddsShopper, see if anything good is out there. Whoever wants the goods right now, if you have an account at Superbook, 14% expected value on Jared Allen, under 11.5 rebounds right now. We have the true line at minus 156. You can get it at minus 115, and you can get that at a couple. ESPN bet is at minus 185, so you're not going that direction. If you can get that stale line there, go grab it if you can. It looks good. You got Nick Claxton as an under that's also looking good, 10% expected value. You can get all of this stuff at OddsShopper. Market-based approach to beating the books. This isn't just us giving picks. This is a data-backed analysis of beating these guys. That's what you guys should be looking for. So sign up using the link below. And it's not just basketball, across the board, plus pick'em sites if you're looking for it. Sorry, I wasn't sharing the screen. It's all on the screen right here. There it is. Thought I did it. All right, what else we got going on here? Shocked at how quiet the Spurs are right now. What else are they going to do? This is just, what a weird deadline where like everything came in an hour or two ago. Huh. Like, we're not even getting mild news. Like, we're not even getting tweets. All right, I'm scrolling back through to see if anybody else has anything else. Did I miss any other interesting stuff? Am I going to do DFS analysis after 3? Now, that'll be on the deeper dive. So tune in at 5 o'clock. Myself and Bellman will break down what this slate looks like now. But yeah, now we're just calm before the storm. Maybe we probably have another like 45 minutes to go on this stream. I'll stick around to like 3:15 to see what trickles in. Do I think the Hawks stick with DeJounte? It feels like they're going to. Someone from the Hawks is going to get traded for next year. They're not going to take the salaries of everybody that they have into next season. They're going to get cheaper. So it's possible we just see this one happen at the draft. But feels like no right now. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I really just don't know how to describe what I think the Knicks did. They made themselves like unassailable in the regular season. And a really quality 7.5, 8-man rotation in the playoffs. They just don't have enough at the top. They really don't. They really don't. What's going on, Michael Henry? Feel like you're just talking to yourself there, but I don't know what you're talking about. Holy shit. We didn't even say anything. This is what I have to add on Spencer Dinwiddie for Dennis Schroeder. Who cares? What a challenge trade that means nothing. Knicks built for Zion. Yeah, I mean, like, can you reroute Randall to a third team? Come on, Josh. Even your hating ass can admit Brunson is him. Yeah, I would never describe anybody like that. I would hate myself if I used that terminology. However, yeah, I think Derek Brunson's really good. If he's the best player on the team, you're not going to win anything. I don't mean that as disrespect. It's just simply true. So, are they set up really well? Yeah. Do they have a bunch of valuable picks in the future that they can trade to make the team better? Absolutely. Every bit of their team building is fantastic. Doesn't make them a threat. That's how I land on it. I love what they're doing. I wouldn't really change anything. I don't think they gave up too much or overpaid I think they should have tried to keep quickly and give up different assets to get OG, but they don't see it. I'm okay with it. I still like that deal. I'd rather have OG, but they don't have it. They just don't. Yeah, Josh Gillum, that's a good one. I don't know why Bruce Brown is still just on the Raptors right now. That dude should be traded somewhere. It's hard for his salary, but other than that. Yeah, Bruce Brown. I mean, Bruce Brown would be a good fit everywhere. He's just gonna fit everywhere. Can Banchero be a number one on a championship team? I think so. I have no reason to suspect he couldn't. I mean, when you can get somebody at his size with his ability to create 24% usage, 29% usage, 24% assist rate. He's shooting 36% from three this season on a team that's really not good offensively from a spacing perspective. If he starts to finish a little bit better at the rim, his size and creation, I think that he could be the number one creator on a team. So Bellman, here's the tricky part of that conversation. The Franz Banchero number one thing. And it's the part that I think gets misunderstood the most in the NBA. When we talk about being the best guy, there is also value from being an unassailable number two. If Paolo Banchero, if your best player is the eighth best player, then I would rather have the best secondary piece on top of it. It's the perfect reason that I described why I would rather have Chris Middleton than Jimmy Butler 4 years ago. Because Middleton will fit with everybody you acquire no matter what. Whereas Butler, you need very specific things because of his lack of ability to shoot. So there's a case to be made that a natural second banana looks better than the first option when you have to start comparing that first option in the playoff scenario range. And Franz is a better connector of all things. He would fit on more teams across the board right now than Paolo. And that's where it starts to get dicey for me. But I think Paolo's ceiling is massive. What else we got here? What else we got here? Michael, the takes on Giannis back in the day should have been shitty. There's no reason to suspect they were anything else. That doesn't mean you don't make those assessments. You deal with the information you have at the present time. That's all you can do. What else are we missing here? Yeah, Michael Davis. I've seen a lot of that reporting about Bridges vetoing any trade from Charlotte. That's a not real report. That's not a thing. I don't know why that even came out. But that's not a real thing. Like, if Miles Bridges got an offer to a team that told him what they were going to re-sign him for and he liked that deal, he'd take the trade in a heartbeat right now. Especially if it's a team that has any sort of playoff aspirations for this year. The fact he has the ability to veto anything that he wants. So yeah, you're going to say that, but like behind the scenes, no, that's not the case. There's no incentive to do that. If you know you can already get your deal now, you do it. You just do it. Why would you want to take any additional risk? You know what happens if you get hurt tomorrow and didn't take the trade you wanted? You don't get the same deal in the offseason. So if you have a team that you know will pay you what you're looking for, you don't be like, you know what, I'm going to wait 2 months and take on all this additional risk, maybe smack my gal around again and not be able to sign this contract. You put your signature on the contract as fast as you can. He has the ability to say no because he's on that 1-year deal, so he's going to say no to the public. That's not what's really happening in the background. Paolo and Franz or Chet and Jalen Williams? That would be Paolo and Franz for me. But it is obviously very close. Miles Bridges is innocent. If you're the Magic and you had a do-over, would you take Chet or Paolo? Paolo, no doubt. Wouldn't even think twice. I wouldn't think twice. Are we going to get any news? This is annoying. Hit me with some questions if you have them, folks. We'll get in whatever we can. But this deadline's going out with a snooze for this final 22 minutes. The reason for me, like, Franz is real and is going to be real for a while. The actualized ceiling of Paolo Banchero is higher than anybody else in that discussion. So it's got to be those two for me. If you peek out all 4 of those dudes, Paolo Banchero is the best of the bunch. The Wolves would trade for Darius Garland for those 4 guys in a nanosecond, I think. I don't think they would do that deal, though. I don't think the Cavs would do that deal. Yeah, Chris, I agree that he would veto the trade, but he wouldn't veto the contract. Like, the Suns aren't going to give him 4 years and $120 million in the offseason. So he would veto that trade. Like, if Dallas had the ability to trade for Miles Bridges in this moment, right now, and they were like, yo, we're going to give you 4 for 100 and something. We can't announce that now, but, you know, we're going to lock that down on July 1st. Miles Bridges would go to the Mavs. He would waive his trade clause. He would go play with Luka. He would sign $100 and whatever $million deal in July, and he would walk away from it. That would absolutely 100% happen, no matter what he said. They just have to ask him because he has an implicit no trade clause. Does Beverly to the Bucks matter in their chances of winning a title? No. Why proactively say he's not being moved? I don't know. It's NBA media. No clue. But yeah, it's just he doesn't want to get moved to a spot that he doesn't want to be in, and like he doesn't want to lose any of that ability. He's not re-signing for Charlotte, so like it's not about being in Charlotte. Yeah, I wanted Wemby to get a point guard too. Who would I like to see go to OKC? Yeah, we keep having that kind of conversation. I don't know what that answer is. All right, let's think it through. Let's see who exists. Let's get somebody that can shoot the three. So let's say somebody's got to be shooting at least 37% from three. And I don't think there's somebody that needs like a shit ton of usage. So let's like lock that down at, no more than 22. What else would be an interesting? Let's say that they have to be not a complete negative on defense. A little bit of negative is going to be okay. So at least -1. That leaves me, what's this list? So that's 83 people. I mean, Caruso has been on this list for me for ages and ages and ages. I would have loved for them to get him. I would certainly like a Wendell Carter Jr. pickup for them. Beef Stew would be a totally reasonable fit there. I wouldn't hate seeing like Denny Avdia on Washington or on OKC if you could like grab him out of Washington somehow. That dude can't make a mid-range shot to save his life. Holy shit. It's hard. Like what OKC needs is what everybody wants. That's really the problem. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you should look at Josh Baker. I don't think you should look at Cleveland making a trade that makes them worse a bad thing if it allows them to get better in the future with the assets they acquire. Sometimes you got to take a step back to be able to take 2 steps forward. Why didn't the Rockets make any moves? What would they do? What do they have to change? Continue to play Şengün, continue to play Jalen Green, continue to play Jabari Smith. You've got vets around them right now. They're in no rush. Unless you can make like a long-term move, there's nothing that they could be doing right now that would be all that interesting. A win now mentality is a great way to never win. If you have a win now mentality when you are not a team that can win, you are likely going to be in some shit. Oh, we're just not going to get anything, are we? This is going to go out with a whimper. Just a little tiny whimper. I assume we start getting a couple. I don't know who's still waiting to clear money. What else we got coming in here? Oh. So Chris, yeah, that's sort of where I land here. Like, I think the Cavs need to make the decision. They need to know what Donovan Mitchell's doing, or they just need to ship him out. And there goes Dougie McBuckets to Indiana to the Pacers. I mean, I expected this the whole time. $15 million expiring. What are they taking back? Or are the Pacers just eating that contract? I don't think they can do that. I don't think they have that space. No. McBuckets for Are they going to get TJ McConnell? It's not going to be Siakam or Miles Turner. I can't imagine it would be Marcus Morris. That would be just a weird challenge trade. I would not be surprised if this is TJ McConnell. Are they just getting off of that deal? Do the Pacers have $15 million to take that in? Do they have a trade exception? All right, the Pacers don't have an exception. So they need $13 million going out to do this. Is this going to get folded into the Marcus Morris deal? Otherwise, you got TJ at 8.7. They don't really have the salary. Like, even if you added TJ McConnell here. Oh, TJ McConnell works. Does anybody work? No. I think this is McConnell. Otherwise, I think it's got to be Morris. But I don't know why, like that. So the Pacers, did they free up enough space? Did they free up enough space with the Buddy Hield deal? It's possible. I think this McDermott deal might get folded into that Hield deal. There it is. There it's Morris. Yeah. There we go. It was Morris. Interesting. I wanted it to be TJ there, kind of. Helms, you are on a 45-second delay to real Twitter. So if I'm reading chat, I'm seeing it before you. Murray's probably leaving in the offseason, just not right now. It's really, really hard to make trades at the deadline and way easier to make it in the offseason because you get extra picks that you can trade that become unencumbered and the size of your roster increases so you can take in more people for unbalanced trades in the offseason compared to now where you only have 15. So I guess Doug McDermott wasn't willing to take the buyout, but Marcus Morris will be? I don't know. That's a weird deal. I don't know who's saving the money in that one, but somebody is. $20.29 second rounder in that deal. I don't know. There's nothing to talk about for Marcus Morris in this one. That is just a salary moving trade. I mean, if I'm the Lakers, they're doing exactly what they should be doing. I want to be very clear that the Lakers should not be making a deal right now. I don't think that there's anything that they could do that makes them a team you want to get to this year. And they will have a lot more assets available to them once their new picks become unencumbered in the future. So I agree with the Lakers doing nothing. Because there's nothing out there for them to do. If they wanted to go out there and get DeJounte Murray right now, that's great and all. You're not changing your team. Bucks are trading Robin Lopez to the Kings. Congratulations. For anybody that actually cares about that, I don't know why you care about that. 10 minutes to go. We're starting to get these little trickles. But Robin Lopez to the Kings is a wet fart in terms of this stuff. I don't even want to get those alerts. Breaking up the low pie. Probably get like Alex Len back in return or something stupid. All right. What other questions you guys got for me? We've got, I don't know, probably 25, 30 minutes left to go here. We have 9 minutes to go until the deadline stops, but we usually see some trades trickle in after the fact. Helms, I don't think that it's for picks. I think it's just to save salary. Consigliere, I'm guessing that PJ Tucker gets bought out and he'll hit the buyout market. I don't think anybody wants to give anything up for him. There you go. That trade of Robin Lopez saves the Bucks $8.6 million in luxury tax. That's why you trade him for nothing. That's why they're not getting a second back. And they have an open roster spot, which they'll use with league minimum dudes, and they count differently against the tax. Who do I think fucked up? That's an interesting one. Nobody, I guess. I mean, I'll continue to beat the drum that I think Cleveland should act fast, or act sooner rather than later. But I don't really think that there was a lot that many teams could do. I think that's why you're seeing this deadline be as quiet as it is. If I'm Oklahoma City, I want to use this wealth of draft picks to try to acquire some real talent. So, like, maybe OKC, but at the same time, I trust Sam Presti. So there's that. Oh, and for anybody asking like DFS questions for tonight, I don't even remember who's on what team right now. When this show is over, I will go back through and reproject my stuff. You're going to want to watch the deeper dive for that one at 5 o'clock. No, I'm not really surprised. Once Shaedon Sharpe got hurt, I'm not surprised that Brogdon didn't get moved. They'll be able to move him next year if they need to. I think they just want to have him around for right now. So I'm not all that surprised. I'm not all that worried about like OKC. Like, obviously I think Drummond would be an interesting backup for OKC, but their bench mob without Chet out there is like plus 12 or something crazy. Let's see if I can get to it. So if we go cleaning the glass, OKC, like obviously if you could do it for a couple seconds, do it. I mean, they have an absolute million of them. Let's see if we can get the lineups up here on cleaning the glass. So if we say that Chet is off, let's see what that looks like. I think I heard this at least. Yeah. 1,600 minutes with, or 1,600 possessions with Chet off. Still plus 12 net rating, 97th percentile, 92nd percentile offense, and 88th percentile defense. They have still been just smashing people with either Jay Will or Kenrich Williams there. So they haven't really had a big issue with their bench mob. It hasn't really mattered who else is out there. Oh, Dinwiddie getting waived. Adios. Wave goodbye. But at the same time, I would like the idea of having a bigger body there. Are we going to get anything else? They're waiving him so he doesn't get a $1.5 million bonus. No more Bitcoin for you, Spencer. Adios. 4 more minutes to go as we come into the deadline. Again, thank you, dudes, for being here. Or ladies, if you're here. I don't get the sense there are a bunch of you, but I'm happy to have you if you're here. It's been fun. It goes too fast. I already can't wait to get back and do this again in a year. Could definitely see Dinwiddie in Philly. The 76ers are trading Jaden Springer to the Celtics for a second. I think I love that for Boston. Am I nuts? Am I crazy there? I mean, that's a dude with some defensive chops. Only 21. First round pick 2 years ago? 3 years ago? You get him for a second here? Okay. I could deal with that. That's sort of like sort of like the inverse of Peyton Pritchard. I mean, he's never going to play. Like, by the way, Kyle Lowry is going to the Philadelphia 76ers, guys. Spoiler alert. Since Dinwiddie's earning more than the non-taxpayer MLE, he can't be signed by teams that are over the second apron. Carrie, I don't think that's true. I think he's probably only cost controlled for 1 more year. Or am I wrong? Yeah, they've got sort of. They've got next year's option for $4 million, and then he'll be a restricted free agent the next year. So, I mean, at least 1 more year worth of cost control. Look, for a second round pick, you do that all day, every day. Assuming he's sticking around. I like that pickup for Boston. Probably doesn't matter at all, but I like the flexibility. Springer. And that'll probably use up the Grant Williams traded player exception. This has been a giant wet fart of a deadline. 258, 259 now. We are 1 minute away from locking this one down. We'll stick around a little bit to see if anything trickles in. This does not strike me as a we're going to get deals trickling in type day. It really doesn't. To the 760 of you that are here, really enjoying having you. This is fun. Toronto Raptors are keeping Bruce Brown. And apparently Alex Caruso is untouchable. The Bulls are one of the worst run teams in the league. Good God. They should burn that entire bad boy down. The moment that the fans booed Jerry Krause's wife, they should have fired and traded everything associated with that garbage dump of a team. Ugh. Also, like, I'm guessing the Raptors just couldn't find a deal they like, but, like, how is he just not on a different team? I don't understand. I truly don't understand. Like, what does Bruce Brown make right now? The problem now there are a lot of like guys around him that are sort of untradeable. He makes $22 million. So, like, I mean, would he have been a better fit in New York than Bojan? Yeah. Is he a better fit in Philly than Buddy Hield? Maybe. There's just not a lot of comparable salaries around him. If you wanted to do a 1v1 swap. You swap him out for Harrison Barnes? Oh, the Blazers get Delano Banton. Celtics get a second round pick. That's what we're going to do now? Okay. Okay. Oh. The Chicago Bulls haven't made a trade involving a player since August of 2021. 30 months without a deal. That's incredible. That is incredible. Oh, man. I mean, what a just... I just don't... I don't understand what a lot of these teams are doing tonight. I really don't. I don't know what the Bulls are doing, though. They are the worst team in the world. Well, I guess they're going to be picking up Bruce Brown's $23 million team option, I guess. Oh, big deal here. The Denver is trading cash, or Denver is receiving cash, and they are trading the Clippers the draft rights to Ishmael Kamagate, 2022 second round pick. So, you know, that's a thing that happened. I don't think a single team won this stupid deadline. I guess it's the Knicks. But I don't even think they won anything. They just didn't lose. Did anybody do anything that I actually liked over the past 2 hours? Because I don't think that... I don't think I like anything. I guess that's on brand. I'm fascinated by all of this. Nothing coming in, guys. Nothing coming in. Yeah, I do think the Hornets sort of won today. The Warriors are trading Corey Joseph to the Pacers. Welcome back to Indiana, Corey Joseph. I can't imagine Corey Joseph makes anything other than the minimum. So this is probably just the Warriors trying to save like $55 million by not having his salary. They'll fill that with league minimums afterwards, is my guess. But yeah, Corey Joseph on his way out. Not that it matters. Ooh, I'll take that roast beef and Swiss sandwich before I take Corey Joseph. That's for sure. Sign me up for a roast beef and Swiss sandwich. That sounds great. I would love that. So I guess we got nothing, guys. Is that where we're at right now? This just going out and being like a giant thumbs down? All right, one last plug then. This is happening. If you haven't yet signed up for Odd Shopper, if you like sports betting, this is the tool for you. We've got Evan Mobley and Jared Allen props out there right now that you should be able to attack with big expected value rates. We take a market-based approach to beating the books. Expected win rates, expected value, bet sizes for you. calculators if you're looking to it. You can just build a parlay right now if you want to. If I'm on BetMGM and I want to build a parlay, it's here right in front of me. Let's add this Damian Lillard leg, and let's add some hockey play. And it's just spitting it out right now. 9% expected value. I win it 22% of the time, but it's a plus 400 parlay that looks a little bit better. You can build all of these parlays, get them loaded, and immediately go bet them if you want to across every book you're looking for. All of this stuff is at Odds Shopper. You can completely redesigned, by the way, just went live today. You can click the link in the description to sign up. If you're looking for more plays on the sports betting side, this is for you. I don't want to shut the stream off yet, but like I'm pretty sure that we're going to be doing that. So the Mavs did a pick swap with OKC to get that shitty Thunder pick to be able to do the Holmes-Gafford deal. So, yeah, I like the Dallas moves even less now than I did before. Pick swapping OKC in 2028 is only going to be a disaster for them. And all you're doing is getting Daniel Gafford on the other end of that. Nah, I'm good. I hate what the Mavs did today. I really do. I truly do. We're not going to get anything, are we? Nothing happened. Nothing happened today. We got literally nothing of interest. Womp womp. Maybe next year's better. Brandon, they just had to give up a pick swap to OKC unprotected in 4 years just to trade for Daniel Gafford. And then they did it again to trade for PJ Washington. They're sending too much out for shitty basketball players that don't do anything. Like, even if we want to say we like it, we can't like it for what they're giving up. We didn't see anybody give up anything of value, and you're doing it for PJ Washington? For Daniel Gafford? What, like, it just doesn't track. Who cares about 2027? They ain't winning shit this year. I'd care a lot more about 20. It's not about caring about 2027. It's about having 3 picks and swaps in the offseason to go do something and then giving up that ability now for guys that you don't give a shit if you have. They had the ability to actually add legitimate talent. You shouldn't have to make a first round pick swap for the Thunder just to get the last pick in the first round this year, just to get Daniel Gafford. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it for the Mavs. Gafford is so much better than Powell. Like, Daniel Gafford and Dwight Powell are so incredibly meaningless for what Dallas needs to try to win anything. That's the problem here. Who cares about Gafford or Powell? Neither one of them should be relevant for you. I think we're going to pack this in, guys. I think we're going to pack this in. So Washington managed to do today what it couldn't do last summer when trading away Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis. The Wizards secured an outright first-round pick for Daniel Gafford. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. Weird deadline, guys. Weird deadline. To the 600 of you that are still here, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know. I expected more. I mean, we definitely have had some of these days where it gets insane. This is not one of them. This is not one of them. Now, I'm ready for DFS too. Now I got to go through and re-project all of these rotations and get ready for this 5 o'clock show. 5 p.m. Eastern time, myself and Matt Bellman going live on this channel. All we're going to do is talk about the 7 games for today. It should be a very, very good time. Favorite trade today? I don't know. What, none of them? Is none of them the right answer? I legit don't know if I have an answer. Like Boston getting Springer for a second? I don't know. Like, I think the Knicks did the best piece of business. Grimes and 2 seconds for Bojan and Burks. Like, that makes their team better. It consolidates their rotation in a good way. I don't know if that's a good thing for Tibbs or not, but at least they're both vets, so we'll probably play them. I like OKC's pickup of Gordon Hayward. That didn't really cost anything. That's pretty easy. So, like, I like the Gordon Hayward move to OKC. I like Bojan and Burks to New York, although I don't think it really moves the needle all that much. Everything else kind of just sucks. Kobe, you didn't really miss anything, man. Shark Killer, that's not true. I mean, like, the second part of that is true, but the leadership is in the process of changing. He is not going to be the governor of the team in the future. Maybe not right now, but yeah, he is. He's not going to be the governor of the team. Yeah, the Pistons won by getting rid of Killian Hayes. Yeah, this is just, I guess the buyout market will be a little interesting. Allegedly. That's all I got, folks. We're going to pack it in. Brandon, not much longer. That's for sure. Not much longer. That report about him keeping the basketball decisions ended up, like, when it originally came out, was amended. That's not actually true. Well, guys, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. This is my favorite piece of content that I do for the entire season. I love it more than anything. I love talking transactional NBA. I like this more than DFS, to be perfectly honest. It was really great to have 700 plus people come in to break this bad boy down with me. I will be here again next year. Last year I did this. I had a root canal earlier in the day, or maybe a tooth removal. I don't even remember. Last year I did it with a swollen face on painkillers. Much better this one. Much better for this one. So I'm out of here. Come watch me 5 p.m. talk about this entire DraftKings slate for tonight with Matt Bellman. It's been fun, folks. I'm going to get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of the deadline. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you later. Peace.